I'm delighted now to introduce Dr. Lindsey Migliore. She's going to be talking to us as the Gamer Doc.
Hello. I just want to preface this talk with a little disclaimer. The first half is going to include no mention of physiatry or any medicine at all. There is a huge patient population out there with unmet needs that physiatrists are uniquely positioned to treat. But in order to treat them, you first have to understand them. So I'm Lindsey Migliore. Some of you may recognize me from last year's President's Reception when I performed a show-stopping rendition of Eminem's Lose Yourself. Crowd much larger than this, so this doesn't intimidate me. I'm a fourth-year resident, and I'm a nerd. Like any good millennial, I take full credit for all of my successes, and I like to blame all my failures on my parents. Well, my mom's probably going to be watching this recording. I'm just kidding, Mom, please. So my story begins on my 7th birthday when I was gifted a Nintendo 64, and with it, the cult classic Zelda Ocarina of Time. When it became clear that I, like any other first grader, did not possess the ability to self-regulate, my game time was quickly limited, but the damage had been done. The N64 became a GameCube, which became a PlayStation, which became an Xbox. And then something unthinkable happened, something that no one could have prepared me for: puberty. Now, I'm from the Midwest, so girl gamers weren't exactly what you would call cool. So my gaming was forced into the closet, where it would smolder for the next couple of years. Then came college and World of Warcraft. Now, I went to Wellesley, an all-women's college that doesn't have a football team, but it does have a Quidditch team. So needless to say, both my gaming and myself quickly came out of the closet. It wasn't long before I was spending 8, 10, I'm just waiting for the people in the back to get that joke. It wasn't long before I was spending 8, 10, 12 hours a night hunched over my computer keyboard, grinding my Night Elf Hunter to level 80. Someone got it. There you go. Like most of you in the audience, I did pretty well in high school, unless we have any orthopedic surgeons joining us. A's were expected. A-minuses were failures. So the C that I received on my organic chemistry midterm was a shock. It turned out my ability to self-regulate had improved only slightly since first grade. So the game was uninstalled, and once again, gaming retreated into the cold recesses of my now dark heart. As all of you know professionally, and some of you may know personally, cold turkey is not an effective form of medical treatment. During the stress-filled whirlwind that was the first year of medical school, my gaming once again flared, and it wasn't long before I was storming citadels with my myriad of online friends. Now, for those of you without the gaming itch, this is the part of my story that may be the hardest to understand. Gaming is a social experience, right? Most games are cooperative, meaning you work together in teams of 2 to 6 towards a collective goal. On top of a controller, you have a headset on, and with it, open lines of communication to your teammates. How well you work together is directly correlated to your success. Subsequently, you find a couple people that you gel with, you work well with, and you game with them consistently, night after night, week after week, year after year. And during that time, they become indistinguishable from your real-life friends because you learn about them. You celebrate their successes. You wish their kids happy birthday through the microphone. You mourn their losses. But most of the time, you never learn their real names. Before logging on the very first time, you choose a gamer tag, the name that's going to represent you in this online world. Now, for those of you with young children or a secret video game habit you don't want to share with the class, you may have heard of Ninja, arguably the world's most famous gamer. Were his parents huge Bruce Lee fans? Probably not, because they named him Tyler. Ninja was the name he chose for himself when logging on for the very first time. So my gamer tag was chosen when I was 18, so I'm going to need everyone to check their judgment. Killing in heels. Is that because I have a propensity for violence or a love of foot binding? No. It's because I'm just really friggin' good at Call of Duty. Now, despite rolling off the tongue When rapid communication can mean the difference between victory or defeat, it's shortened to HEALS. So med school came around, and whether or not you knew by Lindsey or by HEALS, the same thing started happening. It happens to every single one of you a lot more frequently than you would like. Oh, you're a doctor? I've got this knee pain. Would you, maybe after the talk, take a look at it? Yeah. Or, hey, doc, I've got this rash, right? And this was happening to me online in really stressful situations, right? Hey, doc, I've got this weird feeling in my hand. Dude, come on, I told you, not now. This is my stress, this is my de-stress time. I don't want to talk about medicine. I got a final tomorrow, just let me play this game. Doc, it doesn't hurt, it just kind of tingles, you know? Come on, dude, I told you. And it's not doc, it's HEALS, right? It's HEALS. It didn't stop, it got worse. And in the beginning, it feels kind of good, right? Because you've worked for this for so long, and now people are calling you doctor, they're coming to you for advice. But then it starts to wear on you, kind of like the sound of your partner chewing, right? I don't know, man, go to your doctor. How many 19-year-olds have primary care doctors? Google it. Great, WebMD told them their hand pain is cancer. Quick show of hands. How many of you in the audience think that you can get injured playing video games? Raise them up. All right, all right. I hope all of you who had your hands down are just being lazy, because I'm about to prove you wrong. The good people at NYT put out a study this year on college esports athletes. Let's break that sentence down before anyone's heads explode. Esports is competitive video gaming. And now 130 colleges across the country in America offer varsity esports programs, and that number is growing. And some of them offer scholarships based on video game prowess. Now, in these college kids with their viscous synovial fluid, their healthy ligaments, their intact cartilage, remember the stuff you guys were doing in college without repercussions? I played rugby. I weighed 120 pounds and I played rugby. Now I watch an NFL game and my knee hurts. But you're gonna check that out after the talk, right? So in these college kids, 40% of them reported neck and back pain, 36% wrist pain, and 30% had hand pain. Now here's the kicker. 2% of them sought medical attention. 2%. You want to talk about morbidity? What would happen if 2% of people with diabetes went to the doctor? 2% is an unacceptable number to me. Hands down unacceptable. Because the majority of these injuries are entirely preventable with a little bit of education and a slight lifestyle change, if you catch them early. How are we catching them early if they don't go to the doctor? So that's why I formed GamerDoc last year at AAPM&R, after a couple too many glasses of wine. It's a company, a brand focused on providing simple and concise education on esports health and wellness. The things we're telling these kids, it's not profound, it's not flashy, right? Sit up straight. Everyone, sit up straight, come on. We're physiatrists. Sit up straight, right? You're not gonna see my name in the New England Medical Journal for that. Keep your wrists in neutral. Look away from the computer screen every 20 minutes, right? But they like it. They wanna hear it. We're going into colleges, we're talking to parents, we're going to national gaming conventions. I am now being invited to more events than I can physically attend. I can't do this alone. We need more healthcare providers treating gamers. You know, and if the fact that we need you isn't enough, I've got another reason. In fact, I've got 1.1 billion reasons. Competitive video gaming. I'm not talking about that $5 you spent on Candy Crush and that talk yesterday to get to the next level. I'm not talking about the $20 your kid just dropped on a Fortnite skin while you've been gone. Competitive video gaming is going to generate $1.1 billion this year. And that number is going to be closer to $2 billion by 2026. And there are 5 people treating gamers in America, and 2 of them are sitting right here. Honestly, I am so tired of preventable injuries becoming life-altering diseases. I'm tired of EMG findings worsening. I'm tired of referring people to surgery. I'm tired of, hey, doc, you know that tingling I told you about? Well, now my hand's weak. I don't get annoyed by the questioning anymore because I've chosen this as my life's work. But it's not doc. It's GamerDoc. Thank you.